You know, I just heard this.
Is there a lot there?
There's a city outside of Houston. I was just listening to this today. The
Mhm.
name escapes me, but it it's become an insane migrant hub. It's like
Really?
it's a shanty town. Apparently, the migrants are able to, through a sketchy realtor, like, buy land in this Texas town. I think it's called somebody in the chat will know. And, there's, like, about 50,000 migrants living in this town, and it can hold up to 200,000. And, they're, like, basically buying land. They can, uh, make houses without, or basically tents. They're, like, writing their address basically, like, in
On the
spray paint.
tents.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts, and they can get, I guess, mortgages without a Social Security number, just through, I guess, whatever money. I mean, this is, like, so ripe for these people to be taken advantage of. I guess they could just pay with cash, not prove that they're a citizen at all. And, they're saying that it's already become, just like a cartel hub, basically, and the people are so afraid to even report any crime at all, even murders. Like, they're finding bodies, people
What?
that were murdered, like, months and months ago.
So is this,
Um,
like, more
this is in
dangerous than the
Texas. Yeah,
tent city in, like, all of California, like San Francisco and all that? That sounds scary.
I'm looking this up. I was just reading about it. It's, yeah, a housing development just north of Houston, Texas. Is a major developer. And surprisingly, the developer is a major donor to several Republicans, which is like, yikes. Seems like major conflict of interest.
He just wants to
Um,
make money from the sounds of it then.
yeah, I have to look this up. It's gotta be on Daily Wire because that's where I heard
Learned
this.
it. Like, so I went downtown in my
Yeah,
area for the
it's called
first time.
It's called Colony Ridge.
Colony Ridge. Oh, I wanna Google that.
This was insane. I'm gonna pull this up. This is wild. I can log in. I'm a member.
Uh,
The fastest growing development in the US is a magnet for illegal immigrants. This is wild. Experts say the growing community of illegal immigrants in Texas development invites cartel activity. It's a national security issue.
that's really
Uh,
scary that, like, people who are just coming across the border can just buy land. It makes me feel like I
yeah,
should do the same thing. Like, I could be
probably.
an American citizen if I came through Mexico.
It's in Liberty County, Texas, near Plum Grove. The Colony Ridge development is a sprawling community that, based on analysis of publicly available information, is now over 60 square miles, nearly the size of the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Its population is between 50,000 and 75,000. And this is going to be, it's not back in the day when people would immigrate here and there would be pressure and there would be a desire to assimilate, to sort of at least
Mhm.
understand the American way of life, our values, and then you sort of would take on those values as your own. It's very scary. The Daily Wire surveyed the development by helicopter to assess the true extent of its growth. The flight began in the wealthy Woodlands neighborhood, but it was only minutes before the designer homes and pools gave way to the half-built homes, dilapidated trailers, and heaps of trash. Houses on the ground fly the flags of foreign countries, and many homes display their addresses on spray-painted pieces of plywood. Many structures, some of which are not hooked up to running. Yeah, a lot of these places don't have any plumbing. It's like a third world
So it's like
situation.
living, free of government interest if you don't have electricity, plumbing, or any of
Yeah.
that. They don't
Basically
know
like
your
what they
business.
tried to do Chad and Chop and
Mhm.
Chaz, but this sounds horrible. Um, unfinished, houses are unfinished, don't appear to be getting worked on. At least one plot of land didn't have any structures at all, just a tent in the corner nestled between shrubs. Stray dogs without collars are seen trotting along the side of underdeveloped streets.
This
Colony
sounds like
Ridge is
Mexico.
Yeah, Colony Ridge is exploding. The view from the sky revealed a sprawling labyrinth of roundabouts and endless rows of sidewalkless streets with empty plots waiting to be developed. It's amazing to me that illegal, immigrants can just, like, buy land here so fucking easily. Like, that's a little.
But my question is, the government kinda has a hand in this land business, with, like, at least the taxes when you transfer land. I don't know. Maybe it's a Canadian thing. We have land transfer taxes. So does that happen in the States as well? Or is
I've
that
never
just
bought anything, so I have no clue.
chat? Will have to let us know then.
Um, let's see. A calculation performed based on acreage and lot data provided on the Colony Ridge website for each of the 6 subdivisions found it was already more than 60 square miles, which is bigger than a major southern city such as Fayetteville, Arkansas, Asheville, North Carolina. Colony Ridge is owned and operated by developer William Trey Harris. It's rapidly expanding, at least in part due to a financing agreement that makes it possible for illegal aliens to buy land deep in the heart of Texas. While traditional financing methods require credit ratings and proof of income, Todd Brensman, a national security fellow at the Center for Immigration Studies, told the Daily Wire that buyers at Colony Ridge are able to circumvent the usual requirements, even dodging the need to provide a social security number, which of course they wouldn't have. Because with a traditional bank loan, you need to be able to show that you have a credit rating and proof of income. They're required to pay as little as a few $100s as a down payment. The
Excuse
loan
me.
the loan
The
is
banks
direct
are stupid.
loan is directly from the developer,
Oh, never mind.
bypassing traditional mortgages. And while I mean, they're robbing these people because 'cause they're probably not gonna be able to keep up with it, and they'll probably just have to, like, abandon ship. While the
And then
buyer
they'll
might
just take the land back.
Yeah, basically, and then resell it. While the buyer might pay high interest rates near 15%, it's a great deal for someone with no other option to buy land in the country.
15 per oh, you're paying like double what the country is paying right now.
Yeah, and, like, what
Oh
else are
my
they gonna
god.
do?
Yeah.
Doing business as Terrenos Houston, which translates to Houston land, the company appears to be marketing its property entirely in Spanish, telling prospective buyers that they can own land in the United States. An advertisement posted on the Instagram page for Terrenos Houston appears to target those who are either not currently living in the US or who are not citizens. The caption of the post, written in Spanish, translates to "Still renting? Own land in the US." It
Oh my
encourages
god.
potential buyers to reach out via WhatsApp because it operates
Oh
using
my
an internet
god.
connection, bypassing traditional international calling restriction and fees.
They're
Whoa.
just stealing money from immigrants, and then they're gonna just be even worse off from where they were. And I'm looking at a map right now from I don't know where people enter in through Mexico into, like, Texas, but it's not the closest city from the border, so you'd
Mhm.
have to still be traveling a ways off to get to Liberty County.
The plots of land come with nothing on them at an affordable price. The current offer is 2 adjacent plots of land for $65,000, with the buyers responsible for constructing a place to live. This is insane. They're really who the fuck has $65,000? Likely due to the massive influx of migrants into Texas since President Biden took office in 21, Bensman told the Daily Wire that Colony Ridge is in the midst of maybe its greatest boom ever. So this is going to be an entirely illegal immigrant town.
Now, because I don't know much about American politics as some of our other colleagues do, but is it under Biden's rule that they're coming in through the
Yes.
Mexican border? Oh,
Yeah. I mean, if they're coming in, yeah, since
like it's
Biden
due to
took office,
his
there's been
less. Okay,
millions coming in.
which is insane. This is the plots of land.
You don't need the sound, but this is all like what was here before? Just nothing?
It was probably farm fields, and I'm sure people just bought them up and just
Oh,
decided to.
wow.
Because the other thing is if they're charging 15% versus a bank, which is probably at between 6 to 10% at this point, um, at least in Canada, I think it's like at 6 to 7% of, the interest rate. They're making bank, making these immigrants pay
Whew.
for this plot of
Yeah,
land.
this is nuts.
And it makes it worse because what will happen afterwards is when that land is taken away from them and they have to move out, it's going to contribute more to these tent cities and
They're gonna be
homelessness.
totally broke. Yeah.
And Houston is going to suffer for it mostly because that's the next major city close to it. And I don't know if Houston was the one that is. kind of more liberal than the rest of the state. Was
I
it
Ye
Houston?
Houston, I think, might be more red.
Yeah, so, I mean, they're gonna have to deal with it, and
Yeah.
that's what you voted for, unfortunately, and, you know, reap what
Whoa.
you sow.
They're calling it the largest illegal alien settlement in Texas. And Harris and his lawyer state that the company does not advertise outside the United States, but acknowledges that accommodations are made for applicants who may not have a social security number. Depending on the application, customers provide social security numbers or just their favorite number will do. Any number, really any number will do. Write down, just think of a number and write it down. Literally anything that they're probably not double checking.
I'll just make up a number.
They go on to say that there's nothing illegal about non-citizens buying land in the United States and that property developers are not legally required to check immigration status. That's on the federal government's immigrations and customs enforcement agents. And part of the reason why this town is so appealing, because ICE, it's basically like anti-ICE or ICE doesn't go there or they keep ICE from going in. There's no ICE. It's an iceless town.
I mean, it's pretty hot down there, I
There's
suppose.
nobody out there checking immigration status.
Oh my
So
goodness.
why and then crime is just running rampant. Very thin law enforcement in the area. It's appealing because they plan to live and work illegally. That means they probably have to break a whole lot of different kinds of laws in order to buy vehicles and drive the vehicles and maybe show documents to potential employers. Holy shit.
It just sounds like everything that they have to do once you buy this land is just against everything in order to be in that place, and
They're
that's
kind of completely on their own. I'm sure they're promised everything. They're promised more than they're getting, and then they get here like, "Oh, I have to live in a fucking tent. Great." Like, I
in
should've just
which
stayed where I
you should
was.
just been in a tent in one of the many Texan cities, although I don't know what the police is like in those many cities that people carry in Texas, so that would scare me a lot more.
The Liberty County Sheriff's Office told Daily Wire its officers do not check immigration status in routine stops because it would take forever. Only when they, are investigating violent crimes, which is why violent crimes are not reported in this town because people are so afraid of deportation. Woo! A lot of
I'm
cartel
really
activity. It's very
scared for the
concerning.
states.
Whew.
'Cause this actually could end up being worse than the tent cities in California.
Wow. The Mexican cartels are very active in that they run safe houses, they run drugs, they grow marijuana, they commit crimes. This is homeland security issue. It's public safety issue. The site and surrounding area have been the site of both drug-related and violent crime, including gang and narcotics case that began with gunfire exchanges, as well as a murder of a mother of 5 by a Mexican woman who reportedly practiced she did practice Santeria. She had a crystal ball, and she was married to a high-ranking Mexican cartel member.
Ah,
They found a 16-year-old girl dead there last year. A lot of killing. Doesn't seem very family friendly.
no, drugs, guns, cartels.
Wow. Cartel activity in the area appears to date back until the 2010s. Liberty County discovered a massive marijuana growing operation in 2013, included guard towers and a 20-foot deep irrigation pond the size of a football field. More than $4 million worth of marijuana was recovered. Yeah, man, that's like a lot of weed.
And it's illegal in Texas, right?
I don't know. But maybe this was back probably before it was legal. 2013. I could be wrong.
Uh,
What?
Chat will know. Chat will
There's
know.
allegations that Republican politicians are involved in the development. Chris Russo, the president for Texans for Strong Borders, told the Daily Wire, citing massive political donations that have been made by the developers. So maybe it looks like, oh, well, I'm making donations. Don't look over here. Um, Russo pointed to Texas Republican Governor Greg Abbott, who took 1.4 million in political contributions from Trey Harris. And his wife Celeste also donated 100K to Abbott's campaign in 2018. Her occupation was listed as Colony Ridge Development. Yikes! This just seems like such a racket.
I would not want to be any part of this. It's really messy.
Yeah. It's dirty. It's like, people you're taking money from people that are it's unsafe, people are getting killed, there's drugs, it's like the Wild West out there, but except
And the
everyone lives
hard
in a
part
tent.
is people want the American dream. I think that that's still something that's like really ingrained in people. Like, we'll go to America, you're free, you can do whatever you want, and make good money. But I think a lot of the times people do come here and they realize it's actually really hard to make good money in
Yeah.
the States, even in Canada too. It's really hard to live that American dream. And I mean, there it comes with a lot of red tape that you don't think you'd meet. And so when you kind of get there and someone's giving you, oh, it's easy to buy land here for half
Mhm.
the price the houses are going for, it's hard not to go for it.
Yeah. Think of the chain of migration that comes in. Think of the criminal elements of the cartels that come in through that chain migration. J. Michael Waller, senior analyst for strategy at the Center of Security Policy, told Daily Wire this is going to be cartel land near Houston and at risk of being a no go zone. Waller said developments like Colony Ridge will change the entire United States of America and to a large extent already have, going on to suggest that similar settlements are being planted in pockets all around the country. They have no idea of the American founding or American founding principles. They haven't taken any training in what it means to be an American or what the American way of life is all about. He added before lamenting, this is just symptomatic of the destruction of our country. But if you say something like, oh, you're xenophobic, you hate brown people.
It's it's really sad that you have to come to that sort of thing in order to like feel better about the argument in the situation. People's looks. And it's
Yeah, it's a
it's absolutely not.
humanitarian issue. It's like, yeah, and someone in the chat, like, this is definitely a situation ripe for human trafficking and all sorts of horrible shit. Wow.
Oh, absolutely. When people are desperate, they look for the easiest ways to make money.
Love you guys. Thank you for the chats. Thank you for the comments. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Bye. All right. Love you guys. God, I don't even want to leave. This candle smells so good. I don't want to leave. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye. Love you all. Join the Discord. Feet. Love you all. Wow. You guys are awesome. Come and get it. Bye, guys. Bye. Now I'm really leaving. Love you. Bye.